Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Wednesday the 31st, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning, fairly decent time frame. Wife got up extra early so she could get in and out of here to basically get into work, try and get everything wrapped up with end of the year, end of month stuff. It becomes almost overwhelming. It's so much stuff she's got going on. So, and of course the dog that's here, he can't leave you alone when you get up and move around. He's a Velcro dog for like 165 pounds or how damn much he weighs. He's a giant Velcro dog. So yeah, that was interesting. So I got him out, got him basically, it's funny, so got everything got Karam's way basically for the most part, and then chilled out in the morning. She got to work, got the dog fed. Often doesn't eat breakfast as well, so he kind of didn't finish his breakfast, but he ate that stuff. We hung outside. Karen's off to work. We're hanging out in the morning. He's just doing dog things, and I'm waiting for him to get out of here so I can start really working on the truck heavy. And one of the things I need to go is need to run up to Port Orange and buy some tools. I need Harbor Freight has them cheap, but cheapish. Amazon can't seem to get them to me, so for like a week. It's ridiculous. But went ahead, just kind of hanging out in the morning, waiting on access to tools pretty much for the most part. Dog got in and out. We played, got a bunch of fun stuff. He decided to dig a bunch of holes, which, whatever, have fun with it. So another dog's here to play with, so he was definitely more mischievous, for lack of a better term. So went ahead from there. They called, so they're gonna pick him up about 11 a.m., a little after 11. And once they got picked up, before that I decided to mow. So I was out mowing, getting a bunch of mowing done. I got both my back and front yard mowed. Still got to go mow across the street, the father-in-law's house, and batteries went dead. So it was just, when it's so hot, the batteries don't do well in this crazy ass heat. So definitely was not able to get as much mowing as I wanted. They came, picked the dog up. I finished mowing my front yard, which worked out just fine. Got it mowed up and got it finished, and then reached out to my wife and asked her if I could borrow the car for a little bit so I could run up and get some tools and whatnot. So went ahead and she's like, yeah, come get it. But right now she was out at the bank and on our way back. I said, not in a big hurry, just let me know, kind of thing. So finished up what I was doing. Went ahead and got changed because I was just so gross and sweaty from the mowing, and knew I was gonna be gross and sweaty again when I got back. So I got cleaned up. She said the car is back, so I ran over there on the motorcycle, jumped in the car, headed up to Harbor Freight, and get there. And I looked and it said they had like 20 some in stock, so everything's good there. But get there and they don't have what I need, so is what I expected. I'm like, this is wonderful. So I'm like, great. So I looked around. They had some other stuff. They had some super expensive self-bleeding brake kits and stuff. They had a cheap one that uses like your air compressor, so it basically creates a vacuum now instead of having a little handheld pump. And for large volumes of it, that's fine, but I think you need more pressure you can get from that. I don't know. I'm just like, I'll try it. It's $30, and I should have known it was gonna be garbage when the person at the checkout even told me, like, hey, this is subject to a restocking fee if you take it home and try it, and you don't only use it one day, you want to bring it back, it's like a 20% restocking fee. I'm like, they don't tell me that on anything else. So I don't know if it's like a whole new policy on everything, or if that's just on the shit that's garbage. And we got home, looked it up, saw a video online, saw how it worked. I'm like, that's pretty simple. So ran my super long, I've got like 100-foot airline hose, ran it out to the backyard, got the air compressor fired up, cranked the regulator up on about 110 psi. So between like 90 and I think 120, whatever. So about 110, and got it all hooked up in the truck and started using it. And it kind of sort of works, but not great. But the problem with it is create the vacuum. There needs so much air at 110 psi. There's so much air coming out to create that little vacuum in this giant canister that is not great. That I'm burning through my air compressor reserve like so fast that I don't even get it all bled one wheel before the damn thing compressor kicks on, and now it's running down below 90 psi, so it's not got enough draw. So I'm like, oh, you gotta be shitting me. So I get the belt back up, do it again, and it sort of kind of works, but Nothing like it does online, nothing like the YouTube videos and stuff. And I'm like, I recheck my everything's right, make sure I'm in the right spots. I got the hoses right, the valves are right, thing, and nothing. And I'm like, holy crap. And there's a ton of air to that thing. But like when I put it like up against my cheek, it doesn't create that much vacuum. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I give up on it, super annoyed. And I can't bleed it by myself. So I do hit all 4 wheels, thinking maybe if I can at least draw at some from each one. And some they aren't working as good as others. Others are working a little bit, and it's just not worth having. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So kind of gave up on it and said, hold it. Reached out to my wife. I'm like, hey, is there any chance you could give me a hand with this when you get home? Because last time I asked her to help me on the truck, she seemed not really ass whipped by it, but she seemed discouraged by it. So I'm like, I'm gonna need you to help me. So she goes, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, okay. So at this point now, I'm like, well, I can't really finish working on the truck because I can't do anything by myself. Like I need somebody else here to pump the brakes up so I can put the brakes. She won't be home for a while. So I said, hell, I'm gonna go for a run. So I went for a run. And on my run, ran into a gentleman that I'd stopped by and talked to before. Had a little shop over there. And mainly stopped asking one day about how he liked his building, who built it. He basically told me who built it and said they were lackluster at best and almost incompetent on so many levels, and talked about a bunch of problems. I'm like, great, not the company I want to go with. So definitely not wanting to hire them. And then his shop was about the same size as what I'm looking at building. So I got a good look around what it was. And he's got a lift in it, works on motorcycles and stuff, and works on cars, and just a nice guy. So as I was going by, I saw he was out there, so I stopped and talked to him for a little bit. Kind of told him the predicament I was in, and asked him if he happened to have one of the hand pump style bleeders. And he's like, yeah. He goes, I don't ever loan tools. I'm like, I understand completely. Actually, I said, hey, do you rent out your tools? And he's like, I don't loan tools and stuff. I don't trust it. And I said, well, I can't find one here. You can go here until Friday. So, I'd be willing to pay you double of what the thing's worth as a deposit. So at this point in time, you'd be hopeful I don't bring it back. So whatever it costs you to replace it, I'll give you double what that is. He's like, nah, I'm like, absolutely, no big deal. Then we got talking and stuff, and there was another gentleman there that they were talking. That gentleman left. This guy was talking a little bit and stuff. And then he's like, let me show you what I got. I'm like, okay, well, you only borrow it. So what the hell does it fucking matter if I didn't? Just let him show it to me. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. And no big deal. I get it. He's like, well, I've had bad experiences in the past. I'm like, guarantee it's not me, And he goes, well, I'll loan it to you. Just don't screw me over on it. I'm like, dude, don't loan it to me. That's fine. I'm like, I'll wait. Not a big deal. So he's like, okay. So I was like, would you like me to leave my driver's license as like collateral? Like, what do you want? He goes, no. He goes, I'll trust you. Which house are you in? So I told him my house number. He knew my street number before we were talking. So I also gave him one of my business cards. I said, here's my cell phone. Here's all my information and stuff. And he's like, okay. And I said, so if you're not out here tomorrow when I bring it back, the door's not open in the garage, so you want me to knock on the house door? He goes, yeah. I said, whatever, whatnot. So he's like, yep, that'll work. I said, okay. I'll be back tomorrow with it. So I headed home. Got it working. Basically, what you do is you put a draw vacuum on it, you bleed the brakes out and stuff. Was getting that done and hadn't quite got it finished yet. I was in the process of it, but I wasn't fully finished yet. And my wife got home. So she ended up coming home earlier. I thought she was gonna come home, but it is what it is. But I ran back from where I picked the guy's houses, carrying this little plastic case with the vacuum pump bleeder in it, which was kind of funny. So got at the house, worked on it a little bit, got most of it done. Now she says, hey, will you do me a favor? Since you're right here, and she's like, well, I'm here to help you with the truck. I'm like, okay. So then telling her, I found the tools I needed. I don't need your help now. I went ahead and had to help. So I put her in the truck, got her up in there, which is up on jack stands and stuff and whatnot, and had her pump the brakes up for me, went back around all the wheels again and give it one last shot at it. And because she doesn't work in this kind of stuff, she goes, oh, the brakes feel really bad. You know, I feel like they're there. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, they should be there. Like, what the hell's going on? She goes, yeah, I don't know. They're just not there stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we started the truck up, tried everything. I'm like, oh, fuck, I guess that's not working. I'll take it somewhere else. So out there, I'm like, that's exactly what they feel like. She goes, well, it has like a whooshy sound first. I'm like, yeah, that's the sound brakes make when you hit the brakes in a vehicle. Like, that's exactly right. So she gets out. I'm like, okay, no big deal. So she's out and started the truck up, moving around. Truck's fine. Put the wheel back on it and basically headed in. Had leftovers for dinner, and my truck's good. But as soon as I fired up, got the wheel on it, stuff, got it back down the ground, Backed out of there, pulled it out on the back of the house, out to the front. And before I even parked it, I went ahead and drove back to the guy's house and gave him back his vacuum pump. Gave it back to Jewel. I went to knock on the door, came to the door, and I'm like, hey, got it. It's all good to go. Everything's cleaned up. Everything's back in the case. You know, appreciate you. Didn't want you to think about it. I ain't going to be here tomorrow. You can sleep tonight. No one's back. The guy laughed. And I asked him, told him to let me know whatever I owed him. Send me a check for the bill. I'd happily pay him for the rental fee. Told him not to worry about it. He was just glad I was able to help, and I got it back to him. So got back, and of course the neighbor has a guy that's supposedly a dog trainer. He does not give off dog trainer vibes to me, but whatever. And he often pulls through my yard to park in the driveway. Well, today he decided just to park in my yard completely. And I shouldn't really give a shit, but it's my yard, man. Like, what the hell? They have a yard. By the way, it's a rental. Who the fuck gives a shit? And two, you're working with them, park in their damn yard. Don't park in neighbors' yards. So I got other stuff. Of course, I don't see him out there. Normally, if I saw him out front, walking down the street, I would holler at him right then and be like, hey, you need to move your damn truck. So instead, I called the number on the truck, on the little magnets on the side of the truck, saying such and such and such dog training. So I called and said, hey, man, I know you're working on a house in the street. Don't park in the neighbor's yard. It's my yard. I don't want you parking in your truck in my yard. Just, they have a driveway and they have a street. Park in the damn street. Like, it's not, that's where you're legally supposed to park, is in the street, not in random people you don't talk to and you don't work with in their yard. Like, I got sprinkler heads out there. I got the water main coming in. I just, like, knock it off, man. Just be professional. So left that message. Haven't heard from the guy. Who knows? But we'll see when he comes over. I'm not sure he comes over a couple times a week or some shit usually. But yeah, super annoyed by that. But I don't know why. Just, you have your own whole yard. Just stay on your own property. If we knew each other and be like, hey man, blah blah blah, my reverse of my truck don't work or something, care if I pull through? Like, I don't give a fuck, pull through. But have the common courtesy and respect to ask. You know, I got my neighbor used to park his shit in my yard all the time. I'm like, dude, park in my driveway, I don't care. Give a damn. I've told him before, like, hey, if something's going on, you need your driveway cleared out, you need your vehicles out, park near my driveways. Just send me a heads up after, like, hey, I parked in the driveway. You know, I'm like, cool, whatever. Just let me know so I know where you're at so I can get it moved. That same rental house, the last people were in it, were having a big surprise party and came and asked if they could park in my driveway to kind of hide the cars from the people coming over to the surprise party. My mom answers the door and she goes, no, I can't park my driveway. I'm like, what the fuck was that? 'Cause I heard, like, I come back inside, the dogs were barking inside. Somebody knocked the door. She goes, oh, I told them they can't park in my driveway. They want to have a surprise party. I'm like, what the fuck you mean they can't park in the driveway? So I ran outside. I'm like, yeah, dude. I said, park all over this driveway, park in that driveway, across the street. I own that house also. I said, hell, if you want, park down this guy's driveway. I'll call him and tell him that you're doing it and what's going on. And he looked at me like, what the hell? I said, yeah, dude, that's my mom. Like, no idea why she wants me to park in the driveway. She goes, well, when you get out, I'm like, I'll go over to our house and tell them to move their car. Like, they're not going to Europe. Like, who gives a shit? So, but when you just don't park in my shit without talking to me. So that's where I'm at on that one. So went ahead, got showered, got cleaned up, had leftovers for dinner, and then basically chilled out. Had a client reach out, ask last minute, hey, I know it's last minute, can you wash my dog tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, not a problem at all. So because how my truck's working, I'm taking my father-in-law to the doctor tomorrow as well, and don't have to go. Before I was gonna drive all the way up, get the car, drive all the way back, get my father-in-law, drive all the way up, take my father-in-law to the doctor, come way back home, drive the father-in-law off, drive back up to work, then drive back. So this will save me like well over an hour, and I get my truck back. That's what also matters too. So, but yeah, that was it. Pretty much after that, went outside, had myself a little cigar. My wife's like falling asleep. Like, she can't keep her eyes open. So tired, exhausted. And then I hung outside for a while, let her get some sleep. She's napping in the bedroom, not really fully asleep yet for the night. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.